Hello everybody on YouTube, welcome to the Magician Masters 102nd anime review. Today's anime I'm going to review to you is Pokemon. Yes, Pokemon, everyone's favorite anime, or some people consider it a cartoon, which is not a freaking cartoon, it's an anime!
Cartoon.
Shut up!
Cartoon.
Shut up! Ignore him.
Cartoon.
Shut up! Get out of here! Anyway, the thing about this series is that it's about a boy who is somewhat unsupervised, except these two people who follow him around, named Ash Ketchum. The thing about Ash Ketchum is he was a 10-year-old boy who got his first Pokemon, which happens to be Pikachu. Yes, everyone's cute little favorite yellow guy, side character, that follows Ash around named Pikachu. Yes, the electric type, who follows Raichu by using a Thunderstone. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is explaining this whole thing. Now, of course, you would have to think at some points about Ash. Some people are like, wait a minute, how come he's older? How come he doesn't look older? Why is he still the same? Beats me, everyone. Some also say that they rather prefer the old Pokemon, where there used to be 150 of them, and that was it.
I do.
Anyway, there used to be 150 of them, but now they made it more of them. Make that second Pokemon season, called Pokemon Johto. Or, of course, before Johto, there were the Orange Islands. Kind of make, like, you know, more serious to the, to the show. Because the fact that, they had, like, certain amount of episodes, and they didn't want to end it from there. I mean, Ash lost the, the whole tournament, and now he's gonna, just live on with his life, and that's it. But the problem with this second series was they replaced Brock. Now, Brock is the gym leader. The first, well, not the first, but the second person who joins Ash on his team. His three-man team. Okay, a two-man plus woman team. More precise. Anyway, Brock, of course, we all love Brock and his pervertiveness and his flirty with chicks. But, of course, there was a moments where Brock actually was so close of getting, a girlfriend for once. But, of course, during the, second season, Brock, stopped and just fell in love with this, pretty lady who happens to be some sort of, like, scientist that Ash left the GS ball with. I mean, when was it never her first time when Brock fell in love? I mean, seriously. He sees a pretty girl, he falls in love, he flirts with the girl, and after that, he thinks that they automatically should get married. A little bit too straightforward, I'm guessing I'm going to have to put it as.
So fast?
Yes. What are you still doing here?
Sorry, I'm just trying to go.
Anyway, little, as what the audience would just said, a little too fast. Jumping right to third base. I'd rather go to through first base than go to the second and then the third base. I mean, but of course, in the second season, it was just Misty and Ash. Of course, we all know Misty. She's the sexy chick who, happens to be a gym leader as well. Anyway, back to Brock. Back when, of course, there was a replacement for Brock. Brock's replacement was a guy named Tracy. Somewhat the calm type. He calls himself a Pokemon watcher. And of course he likes to draw pictures of different Pokemon. I mean, you gotta admit, he had good artistic abilities. But, he just didn't seem that fun to have on the team. He just seemed so... Just nothing, really. Just a side character. Just to, fill the void of having, Brock around. But the other thing was, I bet they lost a lot of ratings just because of that. So, and of course, back when they started the new series called Pokemon Johto, Brock came back, and of course, what a surprise, he's been rejected, and he feels so bad about it every time you mention the name of that specific professor. He'll start going into deeper depression. I mean, when was it ever a first time that Brock got rejected by any chick? I mean, seriously, he's been rejected all the time. He didn't go that deep of a depression. Man, what happened? Did they, dated at first, then after that, she felt like it didn't work out, so she broke up with him? So I'm going to have to explain more after this, because I don't want to put too much on my camera. So see you in a little... Now, the character I want to explain to you now, instead of reviewing Brock now, let's review everyone's favorite lady of the Pokemon Ash's 2-man plus woman team. I know I'm sounding sexist that time, but you have to admit it just seems like it.
It's not sexist unless you make fun of that girl in a specific way.
Okay, we get it. Wait a minute. Christian, what the hell are you doing here? I didn't schedule a crossover with you.
You told me to come over.
True, but I didn't want you to have a crossover.
You never told me you wanted me to be in the video. Just do your thing.
Fine. Anyway, Misty is the sexy lady of the team who happens to love water types. Of course, the one thing that Brock and Misty have in common, they both love one specific type of Pokemon. Well, Ash just picks any type of Pokemon that he wants. He'll capture anything. As soon as he sees it, he'll probably just capture it anyway. Even water, fire, rock, ground, bug, any type.
It's better than just one type.
True, but anyway, the one thing about Misty and Brock are, they only capture one specific type. Well, of course, Misty only captures that one specific type. Well, Brock, he actually didn't catch that one specific type. He only had 2 of those specific types, while he captured a couple other Pokemon. He caught a Zubat, a poison and flying type, and then evolved all the way to a Crobat. Then he caught a Pineco, which was a bug type. Then it became a Fortress, which is a bug and steel type. And of course, the one other rock type he did caught was a Bonsly, which is all rock, and then it evolved all the way to Sudowoodo. So anyway, of course, the only way that Ash and Misty were together is because Ash completely fried her bike with a Thunderbolt, and after that they became somehow friends, all because of this bike that they became together with. Oh, I almost forgot this other Pokemon that Misty caught that's a non-water type, Togepi. After when, Ash was kidnapped by an Aerodactyl, the egg somehow just rolled all the way to Ash's backpack, Brock raised it a little, and after that, Misty somehow just got the Togepi anyway. That's just that's life for you, man. You get a big kick in the balls. You have an egg, and after that goes to someone else. But anyway, of course there are some moments where she seems close to Ash, where she actually, seems very nice to Ash, and like they actually fall in love with each other. But then again, there was also moments where Misty, falls in love with someone else, or, all that, shit. And of course, in the end, it was very sad that, Misty and Ash weren't going to be together again on their journey because, her not 2 sisters, but her 3 sisters, were going to travel on themselves, being, I don't know what the hell they're going to be. So she had no choice but to take over the gym. Yeah, the problem with these those 3 sisters are they just give away badges. It's like in, the Pokemon, Diamond and Pearl season, where that one electric gym leader just gave away badges because he, just didn't feel like battling anymore. But anyway, so she had no choice but to take over the gym herself. So she took over the gym, Ash, went on a journey himself, and then we introduced another new female character, May, the first, replacement of Misty. The reason why Ash and, May found each other is because of the fact, guess what? Her bike got fried! What are the odds of that ever happening? I mean, it's just like every moment that he meets a new chick, their bike gets fried up. What's next? The next chick will have her bike fried up, and they'll meet each other, and then they go on a journey with each other. But anyway, May is the other sexy chick of the team. That, just like Ash, she just captures any random Pokemon. She doesn't really matter what it is, it just captures it. And of course, she mostly focuses on Pokemon contests than regular battling. Some people at first would probably think that she would be doing battling like Ash, but then again, it would seem like, which one's going to be which, who's going first when it comes to the gym battles. But of course, instead, just have two different things. One person's going to get his gym badges, while the other person gets his contest ribbons. And that would be it. But when May, of course, felt like she wanted to go on a journey herself on the final Pokemon, I don't know, they had a lot of different seasons for both May and Ash. They go to the, next character. But before I go to the next new female character, I'm going to explain some other characters. The next character I want to explain to you is the first time ever in a Pokemon history is that instead of having a 3-team, they had a 4-team. They had Ash, Brock, and May, and her little brother, Max. Now, Max is somewhat the brainy kind of kid. He had no Pokemon at all. It's true he may have befriended some Pokemon, but he had completely no Pokemon at all. Not one. And of course, both May and Max, his dad, happens to be the gym leader who ran the, just nothing but normal types, the Slackoth, Vigoroth, and Slack King. And that was it. But another thing about Max was, he also had some points where he seemed a little bratty, but of course he had some good moments too with, Pokemon. He even, befriended a Pokemon in a movie before. Same was with May during a movie. And of course all they had to, do with him is, give out certain info about a certain Pokemon, or carry around this, little map thing. True, it's good to have supervision with 3 older people, but two of them happen to be 10, while the other one could be I don't know, probably. You couldn't tell Brock's age. True, he may have seemed older than Ash, but you couldn't barely tell his age. Was he 15? Was he 20? Was he? I don't know, actually. But that's not the point anyway. The point is just, Max was just another character to just have around, be the smart, brainy kid. Now, the next character I want to explain to you is the second replacement for Misty. Now, this one replaced May. We have Dawn from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Now, Dawn didn't meet Ash until the whole, actually didn't meet Ash at all. True, her bike got fried, but that's how didn't she meet Ash anyway. Here's how she met Ash. First, Pikachu fried her bike. Then after that, of course, thanks to Team Rocket, which I will explain soon. Anyway, Dawn was the Pokemon trainer starting out. Picked a Piplup, a water type, and after that, starting her journey. Which, of course, you gotta think about these moments. A 10-year-old child, unsupervised, and after that, all you leave them with is a little animal creature that you shove in a ball, and that's it. It's like saying, you're leaving a little boy or a little girl with nothing but a handgun, and they don't have any experience with guns, and a random, piece of paper with a map, and they probably have no navigation skills. And after that, you leave them in I don't know, maybe somewhere dangerous like the Antarctic or a dangerous forest where certain rabid animals could go after, and you say, okay, here you go, good luck. That's a problem with Pokemon. They have so many unsupervised children. Anyway, to explain more about Dawn. Of course, Dawn had some good moments, of course. Some episodes where you probably think that she'd be more sexier than May, but she wasn't. She never really, dressed so sexy, except that one episode. There was one particular episode she looked very sexy. And of course during the one moment of the movie too. Anyway, when she wore that maid outfit, everyone's favorite episode, including mine, the episode where Brock was helping this girl who dresses up like a maid, and for helping their cafe and helping her with her milk tank. So everyone loved that moment. And of course, there's another moment where they think that they saw Don's underpants, but of course Nintendo got pissed off, so they made it seem like it wasn't underpants. You frickin' perv. Okay, I shouldn't be talking. I mean, we're all pervs in a way. Wait a minute. Wait, you're not a... Well, screw you guys! Okay, back to the episode before, you all are probably gonna say something. Anyway, there was another moment in the Pokemon world where, Dawn seemed, somewhat sexy. But you're gonna, probably pause and rewind. Pause and rewind. Or just pause and then stare. In the movie where they met... I forgot which movie it was. What movie was it? It had Dawn in it. Well, that's not the point. There was a point where they were about to go swimming. Of course, Dawn wearing her usual swimsuits. But then again, when Ash jumps in and screams, "Yeah!" Then you see Dawn jumping in. Now, if you pay close attention to that one scene, you'll see something that you might like. Dawn jumps in and goes, "Yeah!" And of course, not her boob flap, because she's a flat, and she has a flat chest, but her skirt going up just that much. And then you'll see that short panty shot. And no doubt you frickin' pervs are probably gonna pause right there. Come on. Who wouldn't want to pause at that, huh? Wait, you don't? You don't understand me! Ah! Now, before I forget, the villains. Yes, the villains. And the only villains they have, well, of course, they added some other random villains, only for, one specific episode, and that would be it. Or one certain archetype that actually happened of these episodes. The number one best villain, not best villain, but the number one villain of Pokemon is, no doubt about it, Team Rocket. Ah yes, Team Rocket, the funny, wacky, goofy gang that happens to be part of the, anime. I mean, it's very common for most animes to have the wacky, goofy villain. Even in this one other, well, I'm not really sure if you can consider it an anime, but I feel like I should consider it somewhat of an anime. This anime called Dinosaur King. Now, before I go off subject, I'm just going to explain these the characters, and that's it. There's these kind of like three wacky characters. Don't worry, there's no side well, yes, there is side animals, because the fact that they have freaking dinosaurs, and they turn out to small creatures, and then after when you slide their cards in the certain machine, they'll go, "Whoa, holy shit, a big-ass dinosaur!" And that's it. And, of course, as always, sometimes the wacky characters win at some points, but sometimes they fail. And that's mostly it. But as for Team Rocket, they seem like they're about to win. But then after that, Ash comes out of nowhere, beats the shit out of them, thunderbolts them, and they go flying in midair. And while they say their famous catchphrase, "Team Rocket's blasting off again!" I really love that moment right there. It's pretty funny. But of course, at some moments, I'm like, wait, why didn't they just do this? Why didn't they just do that? Common sense. But the thing is, they've now, in the new series, Pokemon Best Wishes, they replace their wacky selves with serious types. Like, they put on their serious face, and now we're not going to be goofy anymore. We're not going to blast off anymore. We're just going to fly in random rockets that we just well, not rockets, but jetpacks we just happen to have on us. Or just happen to come out of nowhere every time when an explosion comes. Where do they keep getting their freaking, jetpacks? Do they hide under their clothes? Do they, shit them out? I mean, seriously, where do they get their freaking jetpacks? And those things are bound to run out of gas if they, keep using the same jetpack. And of course we have the one Pokemon in particular that actually talks for once, named Meowth. He learned talking because he was in the big city, he fell in love, and with his other Meowth chick who wanted someone to be more human, but of course she rejected him, and so he was stuck being a talking Pokemon. I mean, you have to think, if you can train a Pokemon to talk, why couldn't they do the same thing to the other Pokemon? Not just Meow, but the other Pokemon. But then again, there's another Pokemon that could talk. That is Slowking from Pokemon 2000, which you have to wonder how he can talk, which they somewhat don't explain. And Mewtwo, who actually is a psychic, but he can talk. Anyway, but then again, like I said, I miss the old Team Rocket. I wish there would be their goofy selves again, where they go flying and say, "We're blasting!" Oh my god! It's so funny. It adds humor to it. I mean, kids would love to see the villains lose in that kind of way. It adds a lot of humor to it. Where's the humor if they see Team Rocket being more serious? Where's the humor in that? Anyway, they got good background stories. Jessie is a, girl who wanted to become an actress, but she kept failing because she's not really that good of an actress. And then we have James, who is a filthy rich guy, but he doesn't like his life because he's in an arranged marriage with a girl who looks almost exactly like Jessie, but she's somewhat a little bitchy. And of course, the fact that she's, somewhat a control freak at some point. I mean, we don't really see her that much, to be honest with you. We only saw her once, and that was it. But that was actually in the first season of Pokemon. The only time we actually saw her again was the, first time when Team Rocket was planning their new base and all that, trying to take over Sinnoh. It was just all an imaginary moment where, James was thinking about her, and that was it. They never feature her ever again. I mean, you had to wonder if there'd be ever a moment where they feature her again. So, I'm going to also explain the other number one character after this. I almost forgot the other number one character who actually, knocks down Team Rocket back down to number 2. As number 2 biggest villain. I know you don't really see him as much, but he's somewhat the, more important villain than Team Rocket is. True, Team Rocket is the 2 adults, plus their Meowth, who stalks a little boy, and, of course, tries to capture a yellow creature. True, they feel like he's powerful and all, but just find another random Pokemon to capture. You don't have to steal this one Pacific kid's Pokemon just to give to your boss, which that who is the number 1 villain in Pokemon is Giovanni. Now, the thing about Giovanni is he's not really much of a villain, actually. He just sits there, has his, teammates do the work for him. While he has his, diamond rings and all over him, and he sits on his chair, pets his Persian, and that's it. He doesn't really battle that much. He only battled, once, and that was it. He battled with a Golem, Kingler, and finally his Mewtwo. I mean, he's not really that much of a gym leader if he, well, true, he's a gym leader with the Mewtwo and all that, but you have to wonder if he's really that good of a gym leader if he has a Kingler and a Golem and that happens to be pulverized by Gary, Nidoking. Unless Nidoking happens to be that high leveled. And same goes for, Gary's Arcanine. Anyway, if you're wondering why I'm not explaining Gary, well, Gary is just been... I mean, holy crap, there's so many replacements for Gary. So many. I mean, they replace certain specific characters. I mean, seriously, holy shit, they replaced him twice. And he only been featured only a couple of times, and that was it. Oh my god, not really worth anything. So anyway... Giovanni, like I said, he's the number 1 villain of this organization called Team Rocket. You just have to wonder where he got the name from, because he loves rockets that much. So anyway, they're all about stealing Pokemon and all that crap, and you already know that. But of course, there was another time when he was actually finally shown for once. Giovanni was shown in the whole Mewtwo movie. And, you have to admit that was a pretty good movie. You know, you finally see Giovanni in action, and all he wants to do right now is just get his Mewtwo back into his cage, which is somewhat heartless a little bit. You have to think about it. So now I'm going to explain to you about Gary. Just might as well get him done and over with. Gary is the rival who always calls Ash Ashy. Has better Pokemon than he ever does, and all that. And his grandfather happens to be Professor Oak, who seems more like a father figure than, you know, Ash's original father, who's never been shown at least once. Does Ash have a dad at all? They say in Pokemon 3, they explain Ash's father, but I don't get it. I still don't get it. Right now, I still don't freaking get it. So anyway, I'm sorry if I don't really have much images of these specific Pokemon or specific characters. So anyway, there's been a couple of Gary replacements. The first ever Gary replacement was Paul from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Paul is the serious type of guy who just doesn't show that much emotion. He just stands there, looks pissed off at you, and that's it. And abuses all of his Pokemon, or just anytime he sees a Pokemon that he doesn't like, he just throws it away back in the wild. I mean, it's like you open a pack of cards, you see a card you don't like, and then you tear it to shreds, or you just throw it at someone and say, "Here you go, take it," and that's it. I mean, what would be the point of capturing the Pokemon if you're just going to throw it back? That's just a waste of time. So anyway, he has his older brother who, you know, went to the Battle Frontier, lost, and of course went through other, you know, types of gyms. Same goes for Paul. But like I said, he doesn't really show that much emotion. He just abuses. He just that, you know, emotionless. He just feels like he has the urge to win all the time. You know? Have nothing but starting off with a strong Pokemon team, and then, you know, train them, maybe evolve them, and that's it. Just all that. Now the second character that replaced, you know, Gary, the newest replacement for Gary in Pokemon Best Wishes is Shooty, or his dub name, Trip. Now, Shooty is somewhat similar to Paul, at least, you know, unlike Paul, at least Shooty actually shows somewhat motions at some points. He shows a little bit of anger, he shows a little bit of, like, a little of happiness at one moment, like, he's winning and he has to show this evil look on his, like, an evil smile. But the reason why he's doing all this is because he feels like he has to have the urge of battling Alder so he can become champion himself. Unlike him and Paul, Trip actually captures the Pokemon and just regularly trains them, and that's it. I mean, he doesn't, you know, throws them away. He just captures them, trains them, and that's it. I mean, he started off with a starter Pokemon, Snivy, raised it all the way to a superior, and then he goes to the next Pokemon, captured a Jelson, and it was pretty damn good of a Pokemon. And he also caught a probably caught a Pidove, and then evolved to Tranquil. You know, and then after that, it, you know, was pretty good of a Pokemon. And then after that, he also caught a, what else? He caught a Vanillite. True, it, you know, it never evolved yet, but he was a pretty good Pokemon. I mean, if it beat that Palpitoad that, of course, Ash caught, I mean, you have to admit, you know, Trip or Shooty was close to catching that Palpitoad. He also caught a Timber, which evolved all the way to Kinkilder, which you have to admit, that's pretty good for a starting trainer. And of course, the only difference is that he likes to take pictures a lot, so he can, like, observe his opponents, you know, remember who they were, and of course, takes pictures of the Pokemon, so he can, you know, remember the Pokemon, and kind of, like, analyze a little. You know, it's pretty good to have memory of photos of others. And of course, photographic memories of your, journey. Anyway, the problem with these certain particular Pokemon series that, one, they keep replacing certain characters, and two, they just don't show that Ash has matured. They don't show him aging that much. They don't show any difference at all. True, there are some moments he looks like he's matured, but it's like every season he just goes back to being a young kid, dematuring himself. So I'm going to explain more to you after this. Well, that's what I mostly can explain to you all. Sorry if I've forgotten anything, or it's probably like that. If I forgot anything, leave that in the comment section below. Also, leave suggestions. Please leave suggestions on the comment section below. And also, subscribe to my channel, right up there. Or go to my channel and subscribe. Well, thank you for watching. This is episode 2 of my anime review. Well, I'm sorry if I had no images of showing you these particular characters or any of this, but thanks for watching. See ya.